So this week we read the second parasha of Sefer Bamidbar, the book of the wilderness, and in English the book of Numbers because it's full of counting. Last week I spoke about counting, the importance of counting, enumerating in Jewish tradition. But Moshe last week is told by God to take a census of all the tribes except the tribe of Levi, all the other tribes, counting the men of military age, and it's reiterated that the tribe of Levi should be separated, should not be counted amongst the other tribes. Why? Because the tribe of Levi inherited serving God in the Mishkan and later the temples. And so they had to be counted separately. So this week we begin the second parasha, Parashat Naso. Naso means to lift up. God says when you lift up, when you count the heads of the Levites, you should count them according to family. And so Moses is told to count first the family of the Gershonites, and specifically told what their tafkid, what their job is in the Mishkan. That when the Mishkan is taken down during the wandering in the wilderness and then put up again, that they should take charge of all the coverings, all the fabrics, the covering of the tent of meeting, the fabrics and the tachashim skins, these strange beings which is often translated as dolphin or seal skins, although Rashi, and I agree with Rashi, says there's no translation of tachash. Tachash is a specific animal that is created by God to serve the purpose of their skins being used for covering the Mishkan. He postulated perhaps had one horn coming out of the forehead, so they are the Jewish unicorns. And so the Gershonites are in charge of all these things. And then Moshe is to count the Merarites. And the clan of Merarites, the clan of the tribe of Levi, are in charge of the planks and the posts and the hooks and all the structural items that are used to build the Mishkan, of which the skins are then used to cover them. And then Moshe asked that all the other tribes, the remaining 12 tribes, because the tribe of Joseph is split into two to make 12 tribes, the remaining 12 tribes bring offerings for the Levites. And a total of 6 oxen, 2 for each tribe. So each of the two tribes bring an ox, so 6 oxen, and 12 carts, 12 wagons, 1 for each tribe, are donated to Moshe to give to the Kohanim, not the Kohanim, the Leviim, to carry the items that they are in charge of. And then the Torah says that Moshe counts the Kohahites, and the Kohahites are in charge of the sacred vessels of the Mishkan, the ark, the altar, the lampstand, etc. And the Torah specifically says that when Moshe gives out the carts and the oxen to the clans of the Levites, it does not give any oxen or carts to the Kohathites, because they had to carry these items on their shoulders. They had to bear the burden themselves. And then each tribe is given donations to the tabernacle itself, and the Torah enumerates all the donations tribe by tribe. So although the other tribes were not part of the serving in the Mishkan, they contributed towards the Mishkan, because the Mishkan was the central point of worship, and they took ownership of that Mishkan by giving donations. You had the 12 tribes, tribe of Levi, the different clans, each responsible for a different feature of the Mishkan. And the Kohanic tribe, the tribes of Kohanim, were the ones that actually served God and offered the sacrifices on the altar. So why were the Kohathites not given carts to carry the sacred vessels? Because they had to shoulder the responsibility themselves. And we learn from that in modern rabbinic Judaism that each and every one of us has a responsibility for fulfilling the mitzvot and the traditions of Judaism. It's not left to the rabbi to do, or to certain members of the community to do. Everyone has to bear their own responsibility, to bear the burden themselves and the great honor themselves of carrying out God's commandments. We are commanded not only to observe the traditions of our people, but to study the texts. So to come to our tradition with knowledge and not leave it to those few individuals to study. It behooves us to take responsibility on ourselves, to teach ourselves and our children. And once we do that and we take ownership of our community, of our synagogue, of what happens in our synagogue, and stand up and speak out when you think things need to be changed, that we study the texts and become conversant in the text and knowledgeable of the texts and traditions and sources of our tradition, then we will be fulfilling the role of the Kohathites and the Kohanim, in bearing responsibility on our own shoulders, not putting it on the carts for others to carry. Can you hear that song?